Hello everybody, what's up? JWhisp here, and today I'm on my level 1 Ice Wizard, Amy, because I wanted to bring you guys a gear and deck setup for a level 1 PvP. I've gotten a lot of requests to do a deck and gear setup for this girl, especially after I upload level 1 PvP videos, because I have a few on my channel. They're very popular, make sure you guys go check them out. But you guys are like, whoa, JWhisp, this is a level 1. How can you possibly do PvP on a level 1, let alone get a bunch of wins while doing it? And my point of this video is to hopefully show you guys how you can get Warlord at level 1. It's very difficult, but it is doable. You can see a lot of other people have done it. I am not quite Warlord yet, but my rank is definitely getting up there. I started getting a lot of losses when I first started doing PvP on this level 1, but now that I've kind of taken time, perfected the strategy, and perfected the gear, it's gone uphill from there. So I can start showing you guys. These are the stats, nothing too crazy. 22 damage, but at level 1, that's pretty decent. 23 resist, except 30% to ice. 5% accuracy, nothing really on this page at all. So I'll start with showing you guys the gear. Let's get off my mount here, this beautiful Astro Unicorn, so you guys can kind of see. There's two separate strategies you can go for, so I'm going to show you both. First, I'm going to show you the strategy I started off with, and then I'm going to show you the second strategy where I've been getting a lot of wins also. But first, let's go through the gear. So for hat, you have kind of two options. You could use Lydia's Frigid Hat, which gives a little more health, accuracy, but less damage. And Tower Shield, this one's useful because when you have the Tower Shield card, that just means that's one less tower you have to put in your side deck. I don't know, I'm using this one just because I kind of like the extra damage and resist. It's not a huge deal, because gear isn't a huge factor. For robe, there really isn't any other option besides Grey Rose Glacial Jerkin. This gives the most health out of any robe, best accuracy for ice, best resist, and, I mean, look at that, 9% resist, that's crazy. Same thing for boots, Lydia's Frozen Foot Wraps, good health, resist, damage, all that beautiful stuff. For wand, I use the Ascendant Staff. At first, I was using the Headmaster's Crystal Staff just because I had the Ascendant Staff on a different wizard. Headmaster's is good because it gives damage, but Ascendant's is always best because it gives an extra pip when starting the battle. For Athame and Ring, it doesn't really matter, but I use Simple Dirk just because it is the Athame that gives the most health at level 1. For Amulet, I use Storm at Slitherer Gem, because it gives Thunder Snake, and this is the most powerful card at level 1. And then for Ring, I use Simple Opal Ring. It gives the most health out of any ring at level 1. And then for deck, I use the starter deck just because it's really the only deck you can get at level 1. And then let's go on to pets. I have two different options for pets. Gus is what I used starting out. The Unicorn was kind of a fail talent, but it came in handy a few different matches. I'd like to replace that Unicorn with damage or another resist someday because it'd definitely be a big help at level 1. And you can plop a socket in there, but it's, again, you're level 1. It's not easiest to find sockets. You could open jewel packs, I guess, if you want, or pet packs to get a pet jewel. But it's still pretty good. And then the other option you could do is the Clockwork Paladin. It's only epic. It's not mega. But it does give double resist and balance damage. I don't really need the balance damage, but the double resist is good. And the Tower Shield is like a fail talent. If I was to perfect this pet, I'd try to get like double damage, double resist, and maybe that last talent like an ice damage or like a pierce, something like that. Not anything too crazy. Gus is good because it gives a blade, and it's really hard to get a blade at level 1 unless you get the tower. Unless you get the tower. Treasure card, I can speak. But then the Clockwork Paladin is also very good because it gives 2 minions, and when it gives 2 minions, that just means you don't have to have any minions in your side deck. And the minions that the Clockwork Paladin gives are very good. It shields you a lot, and it does a decent amount of damage. So I'll show you guys the deck setup. This is really all you can get at level 1, because if you did any of the Z quests to get training points, you'd level up, and then you wouldn't be level 1. So if you wanted to go like to level 2 or something, it's not a huge deal. I'd recommend, after doing a few matches, maybe going to level 5 or 10, just because it becomes so much easier. But if you really want a challenge, stay at level 1. So my deck down here, that's kind of what that's like. I leave all these cards in, but yeah, all Frost Beetles and stun blocks, because you can get stun blocks for free when you're level 1 and you're in ice, so it's definitely nice having those. And then I'll show you the deck setup I used starting off was 2 tower shields. I had, where is it? I had an infallible in there, and then let's just go to this. I used an ice guardian, and then I used a frost demon. And my strategy kind of was get the ice guardian up as soon as I could, which was usually round 2 of the fight. Usually blade first round if I could, if not blade second or third round. And then after I have my ice guardian and blade up, I just used tower shields until I had enough pips to use my frost demon. And the good thing about the minion is the minion usually did some damage on the enemy as well as bladed me sometimes. So sometimes I could put 2 blades into a frost demon. 1 blade and a frost demon plus the infal usually does around 900 to 1000 damage. But with 2 blades, or if your minion uses a trap, it does a lot of damage, and it's very good. But then I started getting a lot of these Arctic Zilla TCs, and as you can see, Arctic Zilla does more damage than Frost Demon, and costs 1 less pip. Which, when you're level 1 and barely get any pips, it's huge. So then I started using this and doing more damage and for less pips. So I was able to just spam these down. And then I went for a more offensive strat and put 2 Arctic Zillas in just in case I needed them. So I'd wait till I had 7 pips, used 1 Arctic Zilla, and the next round used another one if everything went out well. So that was pretty much the strategy. It's pretty good. You could change some of the cards up here. I know some people like Frostbite, but I like doing all the damage in one burst. Really just depends on what you like. Sometimes people will put 2 Ice Guardians in just in case one person dies. Sometimes I used Snowbird, just depends how I'm feeling, so I could get that other blade, so I'd replace that with the Snowbird. But I like having the other tower shields. The second strategy, though, is the one I've been using now and I like better. Even though this pet isn't quite as good, if you look, my damage is only 5%, but my resist is up there. It's 28% plus 35% to ice. So it's pretty decent resist. If I could get more damage on this dude, I would, but I'm not too worried since I'm only level 1. And I don't take the PvP too seriously. So if you are going to go for this strategy, that means that you do not need to put minions in your side deck. So then you can just focus on towers, an infallible or 2 now. Because, you know, say you put an infal up and don't have a chance to hit, well, kind of sucks for you. And then what I've kind of been doing now is 1 Arctic Zilla and 1 Icebird. So this way, you can get at least a blade from that, since you won't be getting a blade from your pet or a blade from your minion. But sometimes the Clockwork Paladin will use Balance Blade, so that's good. But then you can use Icebird early on as well as Minion early on. So you have a Minion up and you have an Ice Blade. So then I just usually go for the infal straight into my Arctic Zilla. I usually don't have to worry about enemies because my minion is so good that the minion will either attack the enemy and then the enemy feels like they have to heal, or my minion will put elemental or spirit shields on me and then my enemy has to get those off before they can hit. So there's really 2 strategies you can do here. Either of them are good, either of them are viable, just depends. I know a lot of people are using this Clockwork Paladin now, and some people say it's overused. I totally agree with that. I think the card should actually be banned for PvP just because it's really ruined low-level PvP. So if you are someone like me that prefers not to use the Paladin all the time, even though I am using it now, I try to stay away from it as much as I can. You know, go for a pet like mine. This strategy can also be done if you are a fire wizard. You know, you can use a fire blade and go into the 4 pip, like Burnzilla or Firezilla, whatever it's called, and that's always very strong. Try to get a fire beast to give you a fire blade and then use that strategy. Really works for any class, but I just prefer ice because the only difference is ice gets some pretty good health at level 1. It gets free stun block cards, and it can actually benefit from the best level 1 resist gear in the game, Lydia's, which gives accuracy and resist. So then also, if you look, you know, when I have, Miss Harry out, my balance damage is a little higher, so something I also started to do. I haven't experimented with it too much, but if you guys want to try it, make sure you let me know how it goes. But replacing the Icebird with a Judgment, so then I try to use a max pip Judge, and if that doesn't kill, I always have Arctic Zilla. And the Judgment is pretty good because, like I said, the minion sometimes uses a Balance Blade. So that strategy also works. It really just depends on what works for you guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to make it short, sweet, pretty simple to follow. I hope you guys can follow this strategy and hopefully get warlord or a pretty decent rank at least on a level 1 wizard. What I'm also trying to do now, and I would recommend you guys doing, is arena tickets. You can try doing pet derby for arena tickets, but it kind of takes a while to get a match. And then once you do get enough arena tickets, and obviously once you get commander rank, you know, try to go for the commander gear, because commander gear is always going to be better than this gear. I mean, if we just compare, let's compare, where is it? Is this it? Oh yeah, it just looks different on a girl. But you know, if you compare, you know, this to, is that the commander gear? No, it's this one, Code of Invincibility. But if you compare this to Grey Rose, obviously you don't get the health, but you get way more resist, way more damage, way more accuracy, and you start getting power pip chance, which is very good. So I'm definitely going to be saving up for these things, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys did. This is JWhisp, and I will see you guys in the next one.